Hello, and welcome to Life of a Boss, the podcast, hosted by entrepreneur, public speaker, and mentor, Jason Hardin. This podcast is all about helping audiences create and reach their own definition of success through positive thinking, perseverance, and personal development. Having survived extreme obstacles from an early age, such as cancer, poverty, abuse, family dysfunction, and even homelessness, Jason has learned how to master the art of resilience and defy all odds to become the boss he is today. So, get ready for some serious game and remember to keep an open mind. Now, without further delay, here is your host, Jason Hardin.
Yo, welcome back to another wonderful episode of Life of a Boss, the podcast. I am your host, Jason Hardin, and this is the podcast where we're all about helping people create and live their own definition of success. And to do that, I talk about a lot of boss mindsets, boss mentalities, boss habits, and I talk to a lot of bosses, and today's one of them days, man. We got a brother that I admire, I respect, man. His grind is super tough. One of the hardest working hustlers I know in my area, and abroad and online. And the brother just got like more than 9 grinds, and I respect him. And his name is Dale, but he goes by DenaBoy Juice, so you probably know him.
Yeah.
DenaBoy Juice, what's up, man?
What's good, man? You know what I'm saying? Yep, real name Dale, a.k.a. DenaBoy Juice, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've known this brother for years, and I probably known his name was Dale for like maybe months, and I didn't even remember it. I had to ask him again today, man, and he's like affectionately Juice. You know what I'm saying?
It be like that. It be
so
like that,
that's how I know him. I don't need to know nothing else. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no
real.
contracts with him, so I don't have to know his real name. And man, we get along great. But I appreciate
by a handshake.
Yeah, exactly. A word of mouth. You know what I'm saying, man? An understanding. Man, people don't work off understanding no more. There is no understanding, man. And I think that's the problem. That's why you need all the other red tape and bureaucracy, man.
Some niggas you deal with, you got to have a contract because, those type of people don't come through on the back end.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You don't want there to be a misunderstanding.
Yeah,
I believe it.
You
I
gotta
believe
do
it.
that,
But anyway, man, we're going to get into it. I got my brother on the show today because, like I said, man, we always interview bosses. We always have bosses on the show. And a boss, to me, is just somebody who has created and is living their own definition of success. You know what I'm saying? It's very unscripted, very on their own terms. And my brother here, Juice, lives and works and does everything he does on his own terms, man. And we're going to list a few of them, man. The brother host of the New Wave podcast, very entertaining show, man. I think they got they're like 60 episodes in or something now.
We'll be doing 50 on Monday.
50 episodes in, man. Less than a year. Less than a year old, man.
We're pushing them out.
Man, check them out on everywhere you get podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, but also YouTube, man. Yeah. Funny show, man. Working with some other guys that I really respect, and they out there doing it. But besides that, that's one of his latest ventures, man. He's been an all around hustler. The brother's worked for the city, you know what I'm saying? Like legit, respectable jobs and real work. He's not afraid of work, and I think that's really why I wanted him on the show, because he has so many hustles. And I think the glamour behind his hustles is how he lives his life, because I think a lot of us get caught up in worried about what people think about what we do, how we look doing this, how we look doing that. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing. A real boss, a real hustler, man, their pride is in their work. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? The pride is in what they do. It doesn't matter what they do. They gonna have pride in it. They're going to take pride in it. And that's why I got him on the show, man, because the brother does what he does like a boss. You know what I'm saying? On top of the podcast, the brother has his own clothing line, Famously Broke. As you can see, man, geared up, man. Check him out, get the gear. The brother does taxes. You know what I'm saying? The brother does all the app hustles, man. That brother's
got to, man.
Uber, DoorDash, man, Dollar Thug, man, whatever. Man, you can just hit him up to go get money for you.
I might get on that dollar date. You know
yeah,
what
man.
I'm saying? Your holidays is bad.
Exactly.
I'm in love with you.
He over there cuddling. Yeah, cuddling. That brother, I wouldn't be surprised if we talk about, man, like cuddle from like 6 to 7:30 tonight, man. I gotta leave. But that's what I'm talking about, man. Right. He's so innovative, and he's never worried about about anything but the bottom line.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I want to ask you, after I done gave him this introduction, man, how did you start your hustle? Like when was the moment that you decided I can get it on my own? Like, I don't need anybody to hand me a check, hand me a job, hand me an opportunity, hand me an allowance. Like, when did that happen? Was that something that you came up with as a kid, or did you just grow into having that entrepreneur mindset?
Well, first of all, man, I gotta say this, man. You know, I was hustling, you know, doing illegal things and shit, selling dope and all of that, right? So, you know, making fast money, and it was coming in and it was good. You know what I'm saying? Going out of town, doing all this other stuff. But then when they sent me to prison, and they got you working for 19 cents an hour, you know what I'm saying?
It didn't equate.
It didn't equate.
Yeah.
So when you go out on your own in the streets, you know what I mean? It ain't no job too big or too small that you won't take. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you start saying, you know, I was in here working for these folks for X
pennies.
amount of dollars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I came out and, you know, I went to construction class, and I got me a job in construction. You know what I mean? That was real hard labor. It was cool, but it's like, you know, if it's raining, if it's cold, if it's windy, you're
still
not working. No, you're not working.
So the money wasn't coming in.
I was a roofer. So, you know what I'm saying? If the wind is blowing a certain mile per hour, you couldn't work.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But, you know, being in the union is cool. You know, you got to pay your dues and all of that.
Yeah.
So it's like when the downtime came, it's like, damn, what can I do? I'm not getting paid. I'm not doing this. You know what I'm saying? So I applied for the city, and I happened to get in through MASH, and then I got hired permanently. You know what I'm saying? And I was working there, and it didn't work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was cool though. So when I got let go, I was hurt, and I was like, damn, man, what can I do to make that amount of money?
Yeah,
You know
because
what
it was
I'm
good
saying?
money. It was decent money,
it was
yeah.
cool money. And I was like, what could I do to do that? So I started working over at Amazon. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Putting in hella hours, you know what I mean? You know, it's
Okay.
only like 4 days a week.
Yeah.
10 hours a day.
Yeah,
I'm working
yeah.
5 and 6 to
Damn.
make the same amount that I was making over there.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? And then back in the days, like maybe 4 or 5, no, it's like 6 years now, DoorDash came out. And I was like, well, let me try this. I could do this on my own. You know what I'm saying? And I started doing that, man. And then I was like, okay, let me just make this amount of money a week, because that's what I was getting at the city. That was my whole goal.
So your goals, you
My
had a
whole
goal in what you was doing to make what you was
yeah,
making at the
was to
city.
make
Yeah,
that
like,
amount of
like
money.
I don't want to go backwards,
Yeah,
man.
You feel me? I gotta keep this.
I get it.
'cause now it don't matter what you do. You always, whatever job you got, that's your bills too.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
So your lifestyle had depended on that job that you
it was
had.
depending on that. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I gotta keep it.
Yeah,
because,
couldn't go back to $8 an hour.
Yeah, got kids
Yeah.
and they won't. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
So I just always was like, I can't let them down. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're looking at me like, man, what you gonna do now?
Yeah,
Oh, man,
yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They see me leaving, they like, nigga ain't got no job.
Yeah.
But I'm out there doing stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they
you
like,
have to
oh,
make it
okay,
happen.
he bringing the bread in still. So, you know, he ain't doing no illegal shit on the corner and nothing like that. You know what I mean? So the mind state always comes from wanting to achieve what you think you worth. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
if you think you worth $10 an hour, or you said $8,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the only thing you're gonna look for.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
if you
yeah.
feel like you worth $25, $30, $40 an hour, that's what you're gonna look for.
You're gonna try to make that happen.
You know what I'm saying? So as I was doing the DoorDash, it was just like, okay, for sure, this is cool, but now I want more.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
I want more. And you know, start doing the taxes when tax season comes.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Start
Leveraging all your everything you know, everything you know
I
how to
learned.
do, everything
Yeah,
you
know
can
what
do
I'm
on the
saying?
side.
Because I mean,
You
it's
cut a yard around this motherfucker,
what?
you know?
What?
Man, yeah,
Man, I don't work the dirtiest jobs in the world. When I look at that dirty job show,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I be like, shit, man, I done probably did that. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Picking up little metal parts in the oil. That shit is
Damn,
dirty. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's just like, man, you just always got to be, like you were saying earlier, innovative and say, okay, I know I got this job, but what else can I do? And then you got that going. Now you're like, okay, I got this extra time. What else can I do? You know what I'm saying? So that's how it brings about so many different avenues to make money.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're saying, the App King. These apps, they got so much stuff for you to do. You can pull up to somebody's house and put their TV up.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
man,
saying?
you ain't
It's
lying.
just,
It's a
you know,
gig. Like
People, I look at people that is not working and, you know, just got a car. If you got a car, you got a job.
Yeah,
I don't give a damn what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You got a car,
you don't
got
even
a
need
job.
a truck no more.
Yeah,
you got a
feel
car.
Me?
Yeah.
Man, what? Man, I'm telling you.
First, I want to say, like, you covered the whole interview. You know what I'm saying? And ask him one question, man. He done went down the list of everything he doesn't do.
I actually didn't.
I know. I'm glad. But there was something you touched on, and it was really, I'm trying to pinpoint the foundation of it all. And I think, like you said, you went to prison, and basically you went to prison for trying to make that fast, easy money.
Right.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that's where you learned the value of hard, slow, consistent money.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I'm saying? And that after that, you didn't have to get it fast and easy no more because it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, the fast money don't work. Either you gonna spend it too fast,
or
they gonna come take it all away.
And you know what I learned when I was hustling, and it wasn't always right.
Right.
Is that you get a lot of money, but you also have a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? So you got a lot of time to spend that money. When you at work, you ain't got too much time. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of time to trick off that money.
Exactly. So you ain't got a lot of time when you working, you know, for that money, or actually putting in those man hours, whatever they be, whether they be working for yourself, working for somebody else.
Right.
But when you actually have to do a bunch to get that money, you know what I'm saying? It keeps you occupied. It keeps you busy. It helps you think on a different level than when you have all this quick money, and now I got a week to fuck off. I ain't got to do nothing for another couple weeks. I just hit a lick. You know what I'm saying?
2 hours a day.
Exactly.
You're like, oh man, I got all this other time. Let's go to the mall,
baby. Let's go to the mall, the strip club, the clubs,
let's
and
go eat
then
over here.
let's pick up some expensive habits.
Man, you fucking up money that you gonna need later.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because I needed lawyer fees. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and all of that. You know
man.
what I'm saying? So,
like you said, it didn't equate. It didn't equate.
Yeah.
And I just want to pinpoint how much, I guess, that weighed or that impacted your route to success and being the boss you are now. Is just that understanding that you can't get around hard work.
No, you can't, man, because people think like, oh, this dude, or not saying me, just saying anybody that's working for themselves. You may have worked over here for this company, and you work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. When you got your own shit going, man, you may be working 60 hours. You may be working 100 hours.
For no money sometimes.
For no money, trying to get it out there.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because your best, like say, you got your clothing line.
Yeah.
You your best model.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah. You your first person
when
that
I
you
wear it
got,
and I make it look good, other people be like, shit, that'll look good on me too.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So you constantly making shit for yourself that you think is fly, and you hoping other people think is fly.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's just the clothing line. You know what I'm saying? When you're thinking about other things, it could be women selling jewelry, waist beads. They got to be their first model. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? It brings me back to like these old network marketing things, like legal Zoom and like prepaid legal and stuff like that. Really, what I was talking about, but it's almost like you have to believe in your product, and no matter what it is, you really have to believe in your product. Like because if you care about it and you passionate about it, you're gonna make others care about it. You're gonna make others passionate about it. So like I said, I understand the importance of that, and having it, whatever you do, you got to believe in it. You got to be all in. But the flip side of that is that if you do believe in it, it becomes less work because it's now enjoyable to you.
Yeah.
Now it's not like doing that job that you was getting paid to do.
Right.
Even though that's still respectable, even though you still might do it on the side,
because you're looking at the time like, damn, do I get off in a minute?
Exactly.
Like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock ain't coming fast enough.
But you can work for yourself and lose track of time.
Yeah.
And that's what I think the I guess the important part of being an entrepreneur is that you really get your life, because no matter how hard you're working for that money, you're still doing something you love.
Yeah.
And they say if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life, and I totally believe that.
You have to.
I totally believe that.
You have to believe that.
So at one point, like, okay, you was doing the apps and like you said, the construction, the city and all that. At what point did you like feel that you need to integrate some of what you do for you, some of your own creativity, like the clothing line, the podcast? At one point, did you think I have to include this in my salad of hustles that I got? You know, because it's not
yourself.
just exactly.
To express yourself. Well, like when I used to work at I got a homegirl. Well, one of my partners, one of his peoples needed some help at a gas station. So I used to work at a gas station for a little while in the morning.
Man,
I done worked everywhere.
Man, that brother's not lying.
So every time I wasn't there, people be like, man, where Ray at? Where Ray at? They call me Ray. Where Ray at? Like, oh, he not here. So when I come back to work, they be like, man, you famous. And I used to always tell them, man, I'm famously broke.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I may be famous, but I'm broke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was saying it so much that I wrote it down. Like, you know what? One day, I'm going to make this a clothing line. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I was making little designs and stuff, and then I got with your boy Steve, S-Class, and I was like, you know what, I want to make this a clothing line. And we did that during the pandemic. So, you know, I'm about to be going on 3 years. You know what I'm saying, doing that. And then the podcast was, we talked about this a couple of years ago. You know, me and Swaggy D was like, man, we talk so much shit in the barbershop. We need to just put this on camera.
It's valuable.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the funniest thing, man, is like people that you don't know will inspire you so much.
Oh, my God.
You feel me? Because we was in there talking about it 2 years ago, right? And we never did nothing about it, right? So we in there clowning one day. This is recent, before we started. We in there clowning one day, right? And then was like, man, we got to do this podcast. We got to do this podcast. And it was a dude from the UK. Just happened to come into the barbershop to get a haircut. And he was like, man, just do it. He's like, man, pull out your iPhone if you got to.
Do it,
You know what I'm saying? And just do it. That's why our first episode is recorded on the iPhone.
That's
you know
awesome.
what I'm saying?
And
I got with you, and I got with Mike, and y'all was like, oh, you need this, you need that. And that's, you know, I'm one person that's not afraid to ask.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I know
if
that.
I don't know how to do it, I'm going to ask. I'm going to pick up the phone, I'm going to pull up on you, and I'm going to talk to you and be like, hey, man, how do I do this? How do I do that? And that's the number one thing that a lot of people that don't succeed are afraid of. They afraid to ask for help. Why? Because they feel like somebody gonna be like, man, I helped you. I'd be like, I don't give a damn what he say.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
He did.
He did.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He did.
I think pride is a big issue.
Right.
You know, a lot of people, it's not just like some people had that pride, they wanted to have done it by themselves. But also a flip side of that is some people don't want to act like they don't know.
Right.
You know, because there was some times where, like, when people have this image of you, they already think they put you on this pedestal.
Right.
And when you like say, okay, I don't know how to do that, then you kind of knock yourself off that pedestal. And I think some people don't, they can't do that. But me, I'm not afraid to look bad.
Right.
I'm not afraid to fail.
That shows your humility.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And there's power in vulnerability.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's power in failing. There's power in having flaws and obstacles and challenges because people see that. Right. And when you make it through that, people see that too.
Yeah, because when you fall, you know, you got to get up.
Yeah,
you know
you going to stay on the ground?
Yeah,
you going to live on the ground?
It's like playing any sport. When you're playing and you fall, you can't just lay there.
Forever, they going to get you out the way. You got to move.
You got to do that in life too. You know, you fall back, you got to get up and bounce back. You know what I mean? And don't never be afraid to ask somebody.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that about you. And what I think the most valuable part of that is like mentorship.
Right.
I think a lot of us, like me especially, I didn't have any mentors growing up. Didn't know what that word was. Didn't use it. You know what I'm saying? I probably didn't learn that till high school or afterwards. You know, and didn't have one till well afterwards. So mentors were foreign to me. And then by the time I was grown, you know, I thought I didn't need a mentor no more. I'm grown. I'm supposed to know it. You know what I'm saying? So that still kept me from finding one and getting that. And I just want to tell people, you got to overcome these barriers that keep you from asking for help. And I'm glad that you can touch on that because, like I said, I seen how many questions you ask. You know what I'm saying? and I see the way you ask them, and I see that you always try to bring something of value. It's like you ain't above taking a motherfucker out to lunch to get in his brain. You know what I'm saying? You ain't above you ain't above trading some money for time. You know what I'm saying? And I tell folks all the time,
everybody's time is valuable.
Exactly. You know so I respect that. You get it, but you also you pay for it. You pay your dues to get the information, and you show up. You know what I'm saying? I seen you at my podcast workshop. You know what I'm saying? You show up at the places where that game or that information is being given out, and I think that's another thing that a lot of us have in common that aren't successful is that we don't show up enough. We don't show up. We afraid to look not cool.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people that don't show up to a lot of important shit because it don't look cool. It don't look cool to be at the city council meeting.
Right,
it don't look
right.
cool to be at the community town hall. You know what I'm saying? Man, you tell everybody going to the town hall, who the fuck want to go with you? You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, we about to go smoke. We about to go drink. We going this way,
going this way. You're like, man, but this is vital information over here. You know what I'm saying? We need to get that.
Exactly. And I think that's why I do this podcast, because that's been gone.
Okay.
Yeah, like battery died on the camera. So yeah, you only got to listen to this. You got to tune in. You can't watch this. But the cool thing is, like I said, it's all in getting that value. You know what I'm saying? And going to get that value. And I think that we all have the choice to go get it, but not all of us do it. What inside you? Can you pinpoint a time, a moment, a person that kind of inspired you to be that type of person, to go try, to go experiment, to not be afraid to fail, to not be afraid to ask questions? Because I know that all of us ain't born with that, but all of us can develop that. Like I said, if you shy, like I was shy, if you don't like being in front of people, if you don't like introducing yourself, man, what can you do to overcome that? That's what I want a lot of people to understand, that you can learn these skills that you really need to be successful. It doesn't matter that you weren't born with that personality, charisma, or any of that. You can develop that. So was that something that you developed, or did you always have, or what?
Man, I think it was a number of things, man. For one, when I played sports, it was like, the better and better I got, the bigger stages you get on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to not be afraid to perform in front of people.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you playing in a park all day, you can look like Michael Jordan. But can you look like Michael Jordan when you playing at the Staples Center?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
or at the gym at PHS with a crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, that was one thing, playing sports. And then, from failing so many times and, being, it's not here nor there, but being the darker person in the class, you know what I'm saying? And you growing up with people saying, oh man, you black as fuck, this and that, and then you coming back with jokes, and then they laugh, and now you're like, okay,
now you owning the crowd. You owning that shit.
You know what I'm saying? So now you start seeing, like, you know what I'm saying, I got my own attitude, I got my own charisma, you know what I'm saying?
So you developed your confidence. So
you got your confidence.
That was it for you. That was a major part of your success and growth.
You know what I'm saying? And then now I just feel like this, like, I just throw shit against the wall, hoping it stick.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because, you can't just be like, okay, I'm going to go do this job for the rest of my life. Nah, that's where people mess up, because now you're stuck in a box. You know how much you're going to get paid every week. You know what I'm saying? You're never elevating. And, if it's this other position that's paying more, you be like, you know what I'm saying? And I tell people, man, go apply for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you
might not get it. But you might get it.
Yeah, but you might get that interview, and you get that interview. Now you see if you did anything wrong, where to go at the next spot. You always got to be elevating, and that's like, I'm really trying to teach my kids this. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the eyes on you when you out here and you ain't got no job, right? You ain't got no job per se that's giving you a check every week. So the kids looking at you like, damn, what you gonna do? And they always asking for shit, but they see you working, so the work ethic is there. So now they like, shit, you know what? This dude is doing it without doing the normal stuff. You know what I'm saying? So,
and them being your kids, you gotta kind of teach them and explain it while you're going along, because you want them to have that.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want your kids to be down that path where they think a job or a college degree or any of that is the only way. Of course, there is a way, and you still got to milk that. You don't just get a degree and then get a good job. No, you still got to flip that. You still got to hustle and grind and finesse your way to a position, and it might not be a position that degree even applies to.
Right.
But like you said, it's still a grind. Right. You know what I'm saying? You still going to have that mindset. So how do you convey your hustle and your grind to your kids? Because it's easy to say get a job, right. But it isn't easy to say what are you good at, what are you creative with, how do you do, you know what I'm saying? Or do you do that? I
have talks with my son. Like, first of all, my son, he's 17, right? And right now 17, you know what I mean?
That's a hell of an age, man.
He could be hustling different things and all of that.
A million different things. We all knew when we was hustling at 17. Yeah, I think it's different from person to person.
Yeah, it is.
And that's if you had hustle.
Because you got to talk to people to let them know what you got going. So, I just try to let them know, like, man, when he asking for stuff, I be like, man, I'm getting up every day and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I let them know, like, man, this is hard. And I even try to I have them help me, like, hey, I need you to set this up. Once you turn this heater on, I mean, the
the press,
turn that on, you know, get the shirt right, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to show you how to do this, you know what I'm saying? Because it's crazy, man. I think I'm fortunate because, like, mostly all of my friends are entrepreneurs. Yeah. So he's growing up in a world where everybody's making their own bread.
That's what he's seeing. That's what he's used to. And you know what I'm saying? And that's great.
Yeah, and I had conversations with him like, man, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know what I'm saying? He like, oh, man, I want to do this. I want to do that. I say, man, you could do all of that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I do want you to go to college. You know what I'm saying? I tell him college, you don't go to college for the education. You go for the experience. You go to meet people. You go to get all the connects and learn how to talk to grown people. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
For real.
You go to get your schools. Yeah, you go to get your grades and stuff like that. Yeah. But you know, you only in class maybe an hour over here, an hour over there. Then you got all this free time. What are you doing with that free time? Are you making these connections, or are you just going to blow some trees?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Party and all that. Yeah,
you can't do that, man. You gotta always be building connections. Every time I meet somebody, I think of, okay, if I meet this dude on this level, we in the club, we meet on this level, right? And it's like, okay, what he got going? What you got going? Or I meet this girl, what you got going? You know what I'm saying? I'm not just trying to, you know, hop in the draws.
Kicking it.
You know
you ain't just kicking it.
It's like, you know, hey, what you got going? You know, how you doing your thing? You know what I mean? And, you know, it just evolves. So I tell them, like, every person you meet, they don't have to be a friend. They could be a connect for something in the future. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you always got to be, man, working to monetize.
Exactly. You know what I call that? To me, I call it ABO, man. It's always being on. Yeah. You know, and it's easy to be that. You know, once you decide that's how you want to be, like, and always being on is this, man. It's I put it this way: it's like not watching the show, but really watching the production. Right. You know, when I watch something, anything, it could be a movie, it could be anything. Like, I don't just watch it as a show. I don't just watch the face value of it. Right. I watch the production. Why did they choose these actors? What do they have in the background? What message are they telling me? How are they trying to confuse me or distract me? What are they trying to make me believe? You know what I'm saying? So you got to watch that whole. You got to watch the whole production, and that's like a part of being on. So I say that as an analogy because, like, when I'm going to the club, I'm not going to just dance and party and, like you say, drink or whatever. Right. I'm going to, like, how many people can I fit in this venue? Yeah. How can I rent this venue? How can I get it for free? Yeah. How can I get them to offer me to do an event here?
Who
you know
do
what
I need to talk to?
Exactly. Who is he? Exactly. And
I see the bouncers, I see the bartenders, but who is the man that's walking around checking on everything? That's who I need to talk to.
And another thing about that man, because some people are looking for that man, but they're looking to get something from him. When I see the person that owns something, I want to buy him a drink. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I want him to say, "No, man, I got your drink." You know what I'm saying? But you have to go with, like you said, you have to pay to play. You know what I'm saying? You have to be willing to invest in somebody's time and somebody's resource. Man, I want to get his time for 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. And I might have to really buy him this drink. You know what I'm saying? But if he's really the man,
or a damn steak,
exactly, or a steak dinner, man. But if he's really the man, it's gonna be worth it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing that I like. I want to teach, you know, and since you have kids, it's almost like you have the responsibility to teach that. I don't have no kids. Right. All this shit is just for shits and giggles. I don't have to teach nobody how to get no money in any way. You know what I'm saying? But when you have kids, you have to. So it's like you're forced to deliver a message in which they receive it and apply it and use it and grow. Right. How do you do it? How do you take on that? Like is that something you do intentionally, or is it like, I'm a dad, I guess I'm supposed to tell him some positive shit? You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, I'm gonna make him successful, and even with that, like, you can't control the result.
Yeah, first of all, you can't make nobody successful.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's the hardest part, to try to make success. You know, that's like when they try to do all of these shows and they say making a rapper, they may win that show, but they don't have shit else coming out later on.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So it's just...
Or they could. Like you said, you're not in charge of the result. You're in charge of the process.
Yeah, they could.
You could be the next Lotto.
On the real. Yeah. So what I try to do is just show them by actions. You know what I'm saying? I may tell them what I got going on, but if I show them by actions, meaning the first process, you know what I'm saying? My son, he done came up here. You know what I'm saying? He's seeing it get cut. He's seeing it get made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's seeing me draw the shit out on a piece of paper.
Yeah, he's seeing it from start to finish.
From start to finish. So, and that's just one hustle.
Yeah.
When I'm doing the dashing, I done took him to dashing. I done did everything.
Made him go bring it to the door, huh? Yeah, go take that to the door. Yeah, right. Yeah,
so, I just try to let him see every angle that I'm doing, you know what I mean? Even my daughter, when I was doing, we didn't talk about this, but I know you want to get into it. When I was selling illegal weed, you know what I'm saying, and doing the sesh. I called my daughter like, hey, come over here and, do this with me. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So she got to see how it's done, how I had to purchase.
She got to see it as a business.
Exactly. Not just
because it is a
going
business.
To the weed man and buying some weed. No, you see us going to buy packs, putting it on this table for display. You know what I'm saying?
And
packaging it up. You know what I'm
saying?
See
the work part.
You know what I'm saying? You see
the
all
nuts
that.
and bolts of it.
So everything you make, it can be a business. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
anything you love can be a business.
You know what I'm saying? And I stopped smoking weed 10 years ago.
Oh, that's dope. So that
it was kind of hard for me to be around all of this tree at this time. And I'm like, I'm abstaining. I'm not smoking this shit. But, they say money grow on trees, and it kind of do.
It do.
You know what I'm
especially
saying?
with the way the industry went with it. You know, and
exactly.
you know what's funny? The flip side of that is like, okay, I had a mobile dispensary back before they called it that. You know what I'm saying? I had a collective before they called it. All that shit was just called felonies and dope dealers and all that shit. But now it's businesses. And the funny thing was,
say what's up to S.
SD, what's up, man? We live. He over there calling in. We got callers.
Like a blender, man.
Man, I hope you ain't got COVID. You got a mask on. He at home, man. Damn.
For sure.
I hope you straight.
He said he knew we was together, so he had to put the mask on for you, Mr. Hardin.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so we don't catch nothing, huh?
For sure. All right, I'll holler back in a minute, man. All right.
But I wanted to jump in to say, did you have that? Like the person that you are to your kids, because like you said, you showed them all that, and that's like the best example you can be. But did you have that growing up? Did your daddy take you to show you where he got this and where he processed this and where he sold that?
Nah, man. My dad, back in the days, man, Pops was cool for a minute, you know what I'm saying? But, anytime we get in trouble, nigga, we got ass whoopings. Pops, I never went to my dad's job. You feel me? Never been to his job. I didn't know what he did. You know what I'm saying?
But he had a job.
But he was a train conductor. Right?
Oh wow!
So we lived in Atlanta.
That's some interesting shit.
Yeah.
You know,
we lived in Atlanta, and he went to Alabama to work. Work 2 days and come home 1 day.
Okay.
So, you know what I'm saying? That's where I get like the cooking and, you know what I'm saying, being able to take care of the house because of that.
Because you had that, experience. You had that opportunity to do so.
My thing was my grandmother. You feel me? My grandmother ran daycare centers. You know what I'm saying? So at a young age, my grandmother was like, okay, I'm going to have you do the inventory. Right?
Yeah, she had
you know
hustle.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
She had hustle. I was doing the inventory. I was doing the counting, going.
Yeah.
She had like 3 levels. So I'm going to each floor, doing inventory. So I was kind of learning that from the inside out. You know what I'm saying? How many kids?
And it wasn't a hustle. It was a business because she had
business.
even if it was like all off the book, she ran it like a business.
She ran it like a business. You know what I'm saying? So no. We can't disrespect grandma. It was a real business.
Really?
Yeah, it was a real business, bro.
Okay, she was certified, bonafide. Okay, oh wow,
LLC,
yeah. She didn't have a bunch of kids at her house.
No. That's why I say
name. Yeah.
This was 3 levels, bro. She had the infants, she had the toddlers, she had the middle-aged kids, and then the after-school kids.
Wow.
You feel me? So it was real.
So it was a lot going on there.
Yeah, it was a lot going on.
Yeah, it was a lot to learn from there.
Yeah, so she always took me with her, or when I wasn't in school, I would come and be there, vacations,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Christmas break.
Yeah, winter break, all that,
Summertime, I was working with her. So I learned the value of $1. You know what I'm saying? Early. So,
and how to create something from scratch. Because like you said, it's your grandma. It wasn't like you was working with somebody. Because when you work for somebody else, you don't know what they did to get that.
Exactly.
You think like you have no idea. But when it's your family and it's a family business, you kind of see like, okay, they made this out of nothing. Like it's my grandma, it's my uncle. It's like he's anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because when you see finished products, you think it takes companies and businesses and lawyers and all that. You know,
did all that on her
I remember
own.
the first time I made a shirt in front of my nephew. and I pressed it, and I held it up. It was like, oh, it's a real shirt. Like, you know, like, like, I don't know what the fuck he thought. Like, I was gonna draw this shit. It was gonna look all cartoonish
like
or
you was
something.
gonna do some magic trick.
Yeah,
he think you did a magic trick. Like, oh my god,
like, oh,
you David Blaine.
Yeah, it was real.
Yeah.
And that's why I say it's so important to see that in your family or someone close to you, so you can get that inside experience, that inside look at it. Because like you said, when you work for somebody, you don't really know how he built that company.
Exactly.
You probably been working for somebody for 10, 20 years, don't know how he built the company.
You may have never met the owner.
Exactly, really. But if it's your grandma and you seen grandma build the daycare and how she ran the daycare, it's something else that gets instilled in you. You know, not just working at daycare. That's grandma. She built it. First of all, the first thing it does is it's possible to do it.
Yeah, it's possible.
I can do it. Grandma did it. Grandma,
and a black woman did it.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
Like,
an older black woman, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she can do shit, man.
Yeah.
My young, able-bodied ass, you know what I'm saying?
Get out here and do it just like she did it.
So that was a big impact on you.
That was
seeing grandma
in
that business.
That was the first lesson that let me know that, you know, when you get to a point in your life that you can make it happen on your own. You don't need nobody else to sign your check. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
You can sign your own check and make your own way. You know what I'm saying?
And so that kind of gave you the initiative, even if it wasn't a direct connection. Like in your mind, that gave you the initiative to show your children like how to do it, not just telling them, "Oh, you do this," and then.
You know, looking back on it, you see the whole picture.
Connection.
But at that time, you was just like, damn, grandma doing it.
Oh man. Yeah, you weren't thinking about that. Yeah,
you weren't thinking about it. But as far as the process going from doing the inventory to counting all the kids to, you know what I'm saying, cleaning up.
Yeah,
you feel me? To doing all of that
like
type
you probably
of stuff.
hated some of that shit growing up. Yeah, I didn't want to do this. I want to clean up. I want to do these. Yeah, but now you value everything.
Value it.
And I think that, how do you feel appreciation plays into success? Because I'm gonna give you my answer first. Because I see, I didn't really succeed. I wasn't really feeling like I was winning in life. I didn't feel like I was doing good. I didn't even feel happy until I learned to appreciate.
Right.
You know, and just like you said with being in prison, you know what I'm saying, right. And learning to appreciate. Like I can appreciate hard work now. You know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't appreciate that fast money no more. Because that's what got me here. And I learned this, and I'm gonna tell everybody I got it from Skip Townsend, a great speaker, a great mentor, a great person who does intervention work, and he said, like, what would you risk to go to jail for? Like what amount of money would you go to jail for? Would you risk your freedom for? And some people like $1 million, $2 million, or whatever, right? And then he says, okay, now you got crack, you went to jail. What would you pay to get out? Right. They was coming with that saying, man, $1 million, $2 million, meaning, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't worth anything. It wasn't worth anything, because if you'll pay whatever you got out the game, to get out the game, to get out of jail, to go do something normal, then it wasn't worth it. My brother told me, he's in prison right now doing life, and he says, I'd rather be homeless on the street than be where I am. So I say that, because appreciation. You know what I'm saying? You sometimes you don't appreciate shit till it's gone. You know what I'm saying? You don't appreciate freedom. You don't appreciate the ability to get on your phone. Now, if someone take your phone away, you're gonna think of a million ways you could have made money on your phone. You know what I'm saying? Someone take your computer away. Someone take the internet away. Someone take your car away. Someone take your freedom away. And how do you see appreciation fitting into how you succeed nowadays?
Well, I appreciate every drop of everything. Like I said, man, you know, going to prison is just crazy because, you know, you working and, you know, I ain't even gonna front with you. Like, you know, I went to fire camp. So fire camp is kind of different. You know what I mean? First, I was in the regular prison. Then when I went to fire camp, it's like you out in the world, you doing stuff, you doing basically greater good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like a job corps,
it's like
something like that.
Like job corps, it's like a camp. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You eating good, you doing all of this. And now you start saying, you know what? I appreciate when I was at the house. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate when I was over here working at 7-Eleven or working somewhere else for an honest pay, because you know you in here, you're not getting paid what you worth. You know what I'm saying? So I just try to tell people and tell my kids, like, man, you got to appreciate everything. If I give you $1 for taking out this trash, appreciate that $1 because you work for it. And that only took you 1 minute. If you can make $1 every minute,
man,
you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be making $60 an hour.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Now go find your next trash can, whatever it is. Now you looking for trash.
Growing up in Milwaukee, man, I was shoveling snow, going knock, knock, knock. Hey, you need your snow shovel, you know what I'm saying? $2, $1.50.
Yeah,
because you know this is in the 80s.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
that was still good money. Yeah,
it was good money.
Yeah, you can buy
minimum wage was probably $4 an hour.
Yeah, less than
you
that.
Know what I'm saying?
Especially Milwaukee. Yeah, that's California in the 80s,
minimum
man.
wage is probably like $7.50 to $10 now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And that's still ain't shit.
Low.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So you know, I just try to appreciate every little thing, every sale. You know what I mean? Every dollar I make from the apps. You know what I mean? Just gotta appreciate it because without that type of stuff, you might fall back and do the other stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that quick buck, it's always there.
Oh,
you know
it
what I'm
ain't going
saying?
nowhere.
It's always there, but you just gotta be like, you know what? I know where that shit gonna lead to. Because once you get a taste of getting that we call it free money.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You get that free money, that fast money, is just gonna lead you to trying to get it more. And I gotta say this, bro. This is what got me to stop, like, really hustling. You feel me? I met this officer, right? And this is after I done been to jail like 4 times for selling dope. You know what I'm saying? So this is the last time I'm going to the pen. I know I'm about to go to the pen because I got a parole hold.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You got violations, all that. Yeah,
so he was like, man, he broke it down, man. He said, how much drugs you want to sell a day, right? And I said, you know, if I make 200 or 300, I'm cool. He was like, how many sales is that? I said, okay, you know, just say I make 15.
You breaking down
sales,
math, huh? Yeah,
right?
he really asking you.
If I make 15 sales a day, right? Because I done got cracked for selling crack, nigga.
Yeah.
So it ain't like the nigga don't know it.
Yeah,
You know
you
what I'm
talking
saying?
to him.
So I'm like, yeah, 15 sales a day.
Yeah.
Okay, how many is that a week, right? Do the math. Bam. Okay, how many is that a month? Okay, do the math. Bam. Okay, how many times is that a year? Bam, do the math. He doing the math because the nigga I'm locked up.
Yeah.
He like, okay, out of 7,420 times selling dope, making different transactions, how many times do the police got to catch you?
Yeah.
1.
Man.
The odds are never in your favor,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? They
yeah.
only got to catch you once. It don't take no snitch. We always say somebody snitching and all that. No, nigga. All a nigga got to do is watch you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
because if
saying?
you got to make that many sales, we gonna catch you.
That many sales, bro. They gon' and that's low. Nigga.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
only 15 sales a
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you still corner boy.
You
still
sell dope every single day. You don't get a day off of selling
Yeah.
dope unless you be like, oh, I'm going to Las Vegas.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
I'm going over here. You know what I'm saying?
And you ain't
don't
getting
have no
paid.
day
Yeah,
off because
yeah.
niggas want to get high every day.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be like 7,000 and some change transactions you making every year.
Yeah.
And, okay, you got a 3-year run, nigga. You done had 22,000 transactions,
yeah.
nigga. They catch you that one time.
It's
and
a
if
wrap.
they catch you at the right time,
It's
when
even
you
more of
when
a
you
wrap.
just picked up the shit,
Yeah.
you might be getting 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I go into the court, nigga, they was like, yeah, 5 years. I was like, oh, man. They was like, yeah, you don't take this. And they started with 3, and I was like, I never been to the pen, so nigga, I ain't. I'm gonna come back. They gonna take it down.
Yeah.
Next time, 5 years. And I was like, what? It's like, yeah, you don't take this, nigga. We gonna get you for 7 years, and if you try to fight it, we gonna try to give you the 10. Now this is
Damn.
halftime because
Yeah,
all of this is
yeah.
non-violent. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So I was like, all right, and then getting home, talking to my people, they like, yeah, just when you go for sentencing, asking for fire camp and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Telling you how
get
to
a
play
little-
your time, like, fuck
you
it.
Get a little
You
time
gonna do
knocked
something.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So the appreciation come from being in that type of shit.
Being in
what
that
I'm saying?
situation.
So if you don't know nothing about the struggle, and when I say the struggle, being on the streets, like you get up in the morning and if you smoke cigarettes and you ain't got $1 to go buy one cigarette, you know what I'm saying? You got to know that any type of work you do, man, it's going to be worthwhile because then you're going to have the things that you want in life, also the things you need in life. You know what I'm saying? Because you got your wants and your needs. You got shit that you need. You need to pay these fucking bills. You know what I'm saying? You need to put gas in your car. You need to have the lights on. You need to have the phone. You got to have your kids straight.
You got to
know
eat.
What I'm saying? And then after you take care of that, now you start making money for your wants. You want them kicks. You want that hat. You want that sweater. Now you got to start making money for your wants. You know what I'm saying? And then you got your desires, nigga. You want to go out of town. You want to do that.
This brother broke it down. Look at it,
you know
man.
What I'm saying? You just got to do that, man. Like me, I got like 2 bank accounts, 3 savings accounts. You know what I'm saying? And every week I'm putting different money in different shit.
accounts.
You know what I'm saying? So I always tell people, man, you just got to know what you're doing and do it how you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? I tell, they be like, oh, you got a lot of shoes, right?
Yeah.
I don't buy a pair of shoes unless I can buy them 10, 20 times. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have that in my wants.
Yeah.
Not in my.
You ain't
fucking
spending your
needs.
last on your shoes.
Never. I ain't gonna. I need these Jordans so much that I gotta spend my rent money. Never. I ain't doing none of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But some people will.
Of course. Priorities.
Yeah.
Some people's priorities are off.
Up. When they get their priorities in order, that's when they're gonna start winning. You know what I'm saying?
And like you hit it on the head. You know what I'm saying? Like this brother's very wise beyond his years, man. Like I said, you came and talked ethics and you know what I'm saying, and values. You know, hustler off the street, brother been in the pen, and they had nothing but positive shit to say. And I want to touch on that because I did a speech, man. I was one of the keynote speakers at the Young African American Males Conference at Pasadena City College.
Okay.
And one thing I told them. It was like, I'm here telling you all this positive shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if this positive shit wasn't working, I'd be here telling you about the joys of hustling. You know what I'm saying? and I'll say that because it's working. I say that only because it works. Because a lot of people think that shit is corny. Think like, oh, that's slow money. He's a simp. He's a bum. He's a schmo. He's a whatever that is. And people don't realize that the most powerful people got their funds or got their fortune, built their greatness off shit that wasn't great. You know what I'm saying? The motherfucker that made the toilet and the motherfucker that do aluminum sidings and the motherfucker that made the clapper, like these are all crappy ass shit. You know what I'm saying? They're valuable and all that, but we don't look and glorify that. We glorify the wrong shit. We glorify the stars and the celebrities and the dope dealers and the crooked politicians that got all this money, but we don't glorify what really gets it done, and that's hard work. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, no matter what you just named, right? Each one of those jobs, hustles, all that, they started from somewhere. You feel me? Like you were saying, the nigga that made the toilet, he went through a whole lot of shit to get that.
No shit, literally, yeah.
The nigga that made the aluminum siding, he probably cut his hand up 1,000,000 times.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? The dirty politician, he probably had to run up against, not run up like as far as going against somebody, but he probably had to kiss somebody's ass to get to where he was, and then he was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I need this fast money.
Yeah.
It's just the hustler. He was probably, nigga, selling sheetrock. You know what I'm saying? To get some money to go buy a pack. You know what I'm saying? Like everything you do, bro, it's always a bottom floor. And you always start at the bottom floor unless you got a big homie that just throw you something. And that barely happens because everybody is always out for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So no matter where you work at, what you do, we look at the stars and we be like, oh man, but go watch their first movie. You know what I'm saying? Go watch that star's first movie. Go listen to that rapper's first song. And you be like, damn, this nigga was whack. You know what I'm saying? It was one person at his show, which was his brother, his mother. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like when I look at people on a higher plateau, I be like, that motherfucker made it. Because no matter what, they didn't just pop out.
Yeah, you didn't see the rest of his story.
You didn't see it.
You know, I say it all the time. I'm like, when you see an overnight success, that shit is never overnight.
Never.
He did a bunch of products and projects and shit that you never heard of, didn't care about. They was whack, they was boo-boo and all that. And that's why you didn't know him to get to where he is now to some shit you know. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Man, I appreciate you being on the show, man. You came with a lot of game, a lot of wisdom. And final thought, or the final words I want from you is, what advice would you have for somebody, like you said, that's been through a lot, maybe don't have a degree, maybe had some trouble with the law, maybe hasn't found themselves yet. You know what I'm saying? Don't even know how to capitalize on their creativity yet. Don't even know which creativity can get them paid. But they want something. They want more out of life. They know they can get it. They're hungry. You know what I'm saying? They really desire to do something. They just don't know what to do. What would you tell them? They got all the right attitude. They ready to do it. They listening right now, looking for an answer. Like, okay, what can I do now? What would you tell them?
I would always tell people, man, to seek out the people that's doing it. You know what I'm saying? If you talk to somebody, you know, first and foremost, man, you got to have your mental health right. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, mental health is dear to my heart. And I hope people take care of their mental health. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't got mental health, right, when you go to talk to these people that you need to talk to, when they give you an answer that you don't want, first off, you know what I'm saying?
You back at square one. Yeah, you back at square one. Yeah.
And you don't be afraid to put one foot in front of the other, meaning you're going to start at the bottom no matter what you do. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to talk to people, you know what I'm saying? Listen. You know what I'm saying? If you got to take notes, take notes. You know what I'm saying? And man, write down a plan. If you don't write down a plan, you're going to fail. You know what I'm saying? You got to write down what you want to do 6 months from now, a week from now, 5 years from now. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that plan in your brain written down somewhere so you know the end result. End result. It don't have to be the final one, but an end result of whatever you're trying to do right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I just tell people, man, throw everything you can against the wall, man, and something's gonna stick. You know what I'm saying? And whatever sticks, you run with that, and then you double back to the stuff that didn't stick, and you pick that back up, and you throw that against the wall.
See what you can do it again with your new knowledge, with your new resources.
You feel me?
You know what, man? I'm gonna tell everybody here, man, why I appreciate you being on this show, because like I know how you get it. I know how you grind it. You know, from what I do know. You know, I know there's a lot that I didn't see.
Right.
But the cool thing about everything you said, it's no different than when I had the tech guru up here.
Right.
You don't know, it's no different than when I had the boss of real estate up here, Latrice Barnes. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you know, meaning the recipe to success, whether you a hustler trying to make it about the hood, whether you a doctor trying to make it out of med school, you know what I'm saying? Whether you a genius trying to make it through computer school and engineering, like, the grind's still the same. You're not saying nothing different. You saying appreciation. You saying get mentorship. You saying ask for help. You saying check your mind and mentality and make your mental health right. You know what I'm saying? Like everything you said is what everybody else has said in their journey. And that's why I do this show, because I want to show folks that no matter what you're trying to do in life, no matter what dream you have, no matter what your definition of success is, there's a recipe that's very consistent and the same to get you there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And everything you said was definitely part of it, my brother. Thank you for being on the show, man.
Oh, man, I appreciate you.
How can everybody get a hold of your podcast? How can they get a famously broke gear, man? How can they order your food off DoorDash, man? man, give them some contact info,
man,
bro.
Check this out, man. I am at DenaBoy Juice on every platform. That's from Twitter to IG to Facebook. You know what I mean? RG DenaBoy also on Facebook. My clothing line is Famously Broke. It's spelled just like it is, and ain't no crazy spelling. You know what I mean? I got the website famouslyBroke.com. New Wave Shop Talk. That's NUWAVE Shop Talk. You know what I mean? We got the YouTube channel. We got the podcast streaming on Spotify, Apple, all of that. You know what I mean? So you can hop on that and go there. I got to give a shout out to my boys, Bread Boy, Pasadena Sean. He just hit me right now. We got Swaggy D. You know what I'm saying? Tony Touch and Nia. You know what I'm saying? That's the podcast. And, you know, we just trying to, the podcast is we doing comedy. We talking about real life situations. We just having fun while we doing it. We sitting in the barbershop talking shit like we was in the barbershop, and we just bringing y'all into that life. But, you know, definitely get the clothing, man. You know what I'm saying? New Wave Shop Talk, Famously Broke clothing, man. That's about it, man. DenaBoy Juice, you know what I mean?
DenaBoy Juice, man. Check him out. Always giving out free game. Always promoting what he got. Always promoting what you got, man. Nothing but a positive brother doing positive stuff with nothing but positive things to say. Man, I appreciate him. Glad he's on the show. Hope he comes back at some point. Once he gets his other grinds going, you know, when the next app come out, I'm gonna teach him. I'm gonna ask him to teach us how to do that and get into that, man. Because I swear, man, he's the hardest working hustler in the hood, man, and I appreciate him greatly, man. For the rest of y'all, man, check us out at lifeofaboss.net, man. Check us out on YouTube. Well, actually, everything but YouTube, but check us out on YouTube soon. And remember that success is indeed a lifestyle, man. It's not just something you do once; it's something you do all the time, man. It's all. It doesn't stop. always be on. You know what I'm saying?
Always be on and be better today than you was yesterday, bro.
Yep, the only person you're competing with is the person you were yesterday, man. I love that. Positive brother. Always got something positive and good to say. All right, man, I love y'all. Check us out. Social media, all on the platform, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, everywhere you listen to podcasts, man, you can find us. All right, love y'all. Peace.
Out. Good shit, brother, man.
Did anything stand out to you in today's show? If so, let us know. Your questions, comments, and concerns are important to Jason, as he is determined to always deliver to you only the most impactful information and content. Until next time, please subscribe, like, comment, share, and leave a review whenever possible. You may visit lifeofaboss.net for more episodes and great resources to help you become the absolute boss that you were meant to be. You can also follow Jason on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Hardin. Thank you. And never forget that success is a lifestyle.